What is up, guys, and welcome to the Spider-Man Cinematic Universe. This will sort of reinvent the character and get rid of all the classic Spider-Man themes that we have seen before, all the while still sticking to his principles. With that out of the way, let's get started. The first film will be titled Spider-Man Year One. At this point, Peter's already been Spider-Man for a year and he's helping people. He isn't that experienced, but he isn't completely new either. It'll be really similar to Matt Reeves' Batman, where he is still really young, but learning the ropes of being the protector of New York City. At this point, Peter Parker will also be a high school student at Midtown High in his second year. He will already have an established friendship with his best friend, Harry Osborn, but there will be a new student named Mary Jane Watson, who will be the main love interest for the film, and both Peter and Harry both seem to have feelings for her, which is creating a love triangle. Something interesting that I also decided to add in this film will be that Harry will learn Peter's secret. He eventually figures out that Peter is Spider-Man, but instead of making him not trust him, it pulls him closer together, and Harry will sort of be like Ned Leeds from the MCU, Peter Parker's guy in the chair. However, this film still needs a main antagonist, and it will be a really important one. We learn that Spider-Man's presence, being a hero even though it's just been for 2 years, has attracted a major crime group called the Macchia crime family, led by none other than a gangster known as Joseph Martello, otherwise known as Hammerhead. However, there will be a mob war sort of feeling in the film, as Hammerhead is at war with another gangster, killing off the gang's members, and his name is Dmitri Kravinov, known as the Chameleon, who is a master disguise artist who must be stopped. Spider-Man will defeat the Chameleon and bring the Macchia down, ending Peter's arc of discovery of learning who he wants to be in this film. Peter's arc of growth will be represented in this film, as at the end he breaks up with MJ, not wanting to put her in danger to his life as Spider-Man. He went from a boy who was learning to be Spider-Man to, at the end of the film, a man who was able to give it up. The next film in Phase 1 will be called Prowler, Panic in the Streets. This film will be set 10 years before Peter Parker was born, and it will take part in another place in the city about Aaron Davis, already as the Prowler. Aaron will be an anti-hero who still steals from rich people, but is not evil in the slightest. Aaron in this film will have a disagreement, and we see his relationship with his brother, Jefferson Davis, who is a cop who loves helping people. However, he did not like Aaron because of all the law and order he has, which is put a rift between them. However, Aaron feels really close with his nephew, Miles Morales, who we'll see a slight cameo from. Aaron's arc in this film will be self-discovery, not knowing what he wants to do, as he's happy with his life as an anti-hero, but also wants to settle down and be there for people. This comes into play when the main antagonist of this film, a group who his identity is not known, is blackmailing Aaron into committing a lot of crimes for them. At first he refuses, but then they threaten Miles and Jefferson, forcing Aaron to go along with it to keep his family safe. Family will also be an important message in the film. However, by the end of the film, Aaron overcomes all his doubts and decides that he has to take this group down, whatever it takes, and he takes the mysterious entity down. However, at the end of the film, it's revealed that the group was created by L. Thompson Lincoln, known as Tombstone, who is a high-ranked member of the Macchia, and the Prowler ends the film swearing to stick to his vigilante lifestyle and bring Lincoln down. We then focus back around Peter Parker in the next film, which is called Spider-Man: Identity Crisis. Peter at this point is at his junior year of high school with Harry and MJ. However, we are thrown straight into the main action of the film. Peter is struggling, knowing if he can be Spider-Man, which is better for the city, or be Peter Parker, which is better for his personal life. But he isn't sure, as he keeps pushing people away, as he decided the last film to just be Spider-Man. However, it's making him miserable inside. The main antagonist of this film will be none other than Wilson Fisk, who was the head of the Macchia all along. With Hammerhead in prison and most of his plans ruined thanks to Spider-Man, he needs him out of the picture, and fast. So he makes plans to make New York City his for the taking. He starts with hiring a group of mercenaries called the Enforcers. The Enforcers will be a task force by Fisk that he created, meant to kill and eradicate Spider-Man. One of the enforcers will be Felicia Hardy, otherwise known as the Black Cat. We learn about her backstory slowly in the film, that her father, Walter Hardy, was a crook, but he died, and Felicia has been for years searching to find answers on his death, which is why she became the Black Cat. Fisk was an associate of her father, so he knows what happened to him, and has promised to help for the condition of Spider-Man's death. However, when Black Cat is with the enforcers, we get the sense that she doesn't want this. She doesn't want to be a thief, and she's just doing what she has to keep her father's legacy intact. Throughout this film, Peter and Felicia grow an attraction to one another, as they both relate to how Felicia wants to be more than the Black Cat, whereas Peter isn't sure if he wants to be him or Spider-Man. He also falls in love with Felicia because things aren't always complicated when he's Peter Parker like they are with MJ, which causes him to reject MJ throughout the film. He won't answer her calls, he'll be just out being Spider-Man as he isn't sure what he wants to do, and eventually, at the mid-portion of the film, Harry will make a move on MJ knowing that Peter isn't there to date her. This really also causes a rift between the two of them, and eventually Peter learns that he has to be both, and Fisk is defeated and sent to prison. Felicia leaves the country to figure her life out, and it's too late for Peter as MJ is now with Harry. The next film will be continuing Felicia's adventures and called Black Cat on the Run. At this point, Felicia has left New York, and she's trying to manage her lifestyle. All the while, we get to see Felicia still struggling to find her place in society, trying to figure out who exactly she is. This comes in turn when Wilson Fisk is bailed out of prison. He is furious at Felicia for betraying him, so he sends a group of mercenaries called the Thieves Guild to kill her. Black Cat throughout this film will just be running until eventually her arc comes to an end when she realizes she can't keep running forever, and she'll return to New York to confront and stop Wilson Fisk. The third and final Spider-Man film and final film in this phase will be titled Spider-Man: Responsibility. It'll be the final high school trilogy film with Peter, Harry, and MJ in their final year. At this point, MJ has been dating Harry for a while now, but it's clear that she doesn't really like Harry when they're all together, and the one person she's really interested in is Peter. As they're all out together, it really becomes clear to Harry that she likes Peter, she doesn't like him, and he starts to become jealous. They're getting older now, so it's easier for Harry to see the signs of this, and it really is starting to drive a rift between him and Peter. Another big theme in this film will be what college everyone is into. MJ, Harry, and Peter all want to get into ESU, and this film will be seeing which one of them can actually make the cut, as growing up is also a huge theme. If they are all prepared, because this is Peter's last year of high school, he's going to leave a lot of stuff behind. But the final film will need a villain, which is why Otto Octavius will become Doc Ock in this film and be the film's main antagonist. Otto will be a new character, and throughout the film we learn about his backstory, and will have a sort of murder mystery feel to it. Throughout the film, Spider-Man will learn clues about Otto's backstory, eventually learning that he was an employee at Oscorp who used to work for Harry's father, Norman Osborn, before he died. However, Norman mistreated Otto and infected him with a deadly disease in his mechanical arms that eventually caused Otto to kill his mom. Otto then turns evil, and Spider-Man has to finally defeat him, wrapping up the high school trilogy and Peter's arcs as a whole. He learned how to be Spider-Man from the first film, and now it's over. It was fresh, refreshing, but it was Spider-Man. After losing to Spider-Man in the last film, Fisk will take more of a back step, and now he has transitioned to being more of a Black Cat villain, as she's the one that his attention is focused on at this point. Harry, on the other hand, will be looking into some of Oscorp's projects, as now it looks like he may be left with the company. However, Harry isn't sure if he really wants Oscorp, as all he wanted was to be a normal kid, but once again, the theme of responsibility is set on him. Oscorp is in grave danger with the Doc Ock incident being traced back to them, meaning that if Harry is going to step up as the new CEO, Oscorp is going to need a big development in the future. Even though this film is fairly new, it still hints at the downfall of Harry, Peter and MJ's relationship, and everything. And that is it for Phase 1. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm going to try to post this phase as a regular thing, as well as Spectacular Spider-Man. With that, take care and comment.